It's Dave and Evelyn from the Camera Store, and today we're talking about a brand new offering from Sony.
This is the Sony ZV-E10 II.
So this is the brand new ZV-E10 II, and it's the second generation of the ZV-E10, which is a very popular vlogging camera from Sony. Now, this one has a bunch of new features that it inherits from the ZV-1.
Yeah, this is a very compact interchangeable lens camera surrounding a 26 megapixel backside illuminated cropped sensor. So it's sort of in the same vein as the A6700. I could also be compared to a baby FX30.
You could say that, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of features in here that we're going to get into as far as video formats and the functionality of this camera.
Yeah, now there are going to be some compromises as well, keeping it at a lower price point for being more entry level. So we're going to get into all these features of this new camera.
When you first get your hands on this camera here, it looks almost identical to the original ZV-10, which is not a bad thing at all, but it's very similar in its style. But there's a couple big changes to it physically, and for me, the biggest change is the inclusion of the FZ100 battery. Significantly bigger battery for doing vlogging for a bit longer period of time.
Yeah, the CPR rating is 610 shots, which is actually 30% more battery life than the predecessors. So that's huge. That's very exciting. We're happy about that. And it has a USB-C charging port, so you can charge and power the camera while you're on the go. When you hold this camera, although it's very small, it's just over 300 grams for just the body. I think that the grip is actually chunkier than you might expect for such a compact package. We also have this fully articulating screen, again, perfectly designed for vlogging. And one new feature with the user interface is that you can have full vertical user interface. You can actually turn the camera vertically, and then you can give yourself a nice view and have all of your UI display features on its side, so you have the vertical options as well.
Now, this camera does feature a single card slot as an SD card, but it's UHS 2 compatible, which is quite nice. Now, the one big omission of this camera, I think that they didn't include, I'm surprised, is in-body stabilization. I'm really surprised by that with a hand-holdable vlogging camera that didn't provide that stabilization at a physical level.
It's true. Now, there is the active steady stabilization, which is a digital stabilization. It actually works quite well, but you do have to be aware that you get quite a bit of a crop. And so when you combine that crop with 4K 60p, then you end up getting like a 1.5 crop, and on these APS-C sensor cameras, you're zooming in quite a bit, so you don't have as much framing room when you're enabling that active steady shot.
So I think we're going to sell a lot of 10mm lenses, I think.
Yes. Now this new kit lens is actually optically stabilized, so it's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, I think I agree with you, Dave. It would have been nice to have IBIS built into this camera. Because the touch menu is kind of the main epicenter of how you would control the camera, there's not a lot going on in terms of external controls, but I am happy to see that we have so much control with the touchscreen, especially for beginners that are moving from a smartphone. But I am happy to see that we have a dedicated photo, video, and S&Q switch for slow, quick video capture. That's pretty cool. And on the top of the camera, you have a defocus button. So for beginner users, if you want to have that soft background, all you have to do is hit that defocus button and it's going to give you the nice soft background. Now on the back of the camera, we also have the trash button, which can give you this product showcase mode. So again, when you're shooting video, you don't have to hide your face or something like that to focus on the product. You can actually tap that button and it's going to automatically switch to focusing on the product for you. We also have a dedicated record button. You get the tally lamp as well as the red frame around your shot so that you know that you're recording when you're doing selfie videos. Ooh, Dave, the ZV-10 II looks like it's got a little upgrade there. You got a nice hairdo on it.
You got a little cloud of sound perfection up here.
Yes, this is also known as a windscreen, and Sony includes it in the box, which is awesome. You don't have to buy an extra accessory. Now, the cool thing with this microphone is it is a 3-capsule directional microphone, and so it can record audio just what's in front of it, or you can have more of like a surround sound option, and so you can control that in the settings.
Yeah, keep in mind it is a on-camera microphone, so even with this lovely toupee on here, it's still not going to sound as good as if you put a proper microphone into the hot shoe here, like a Zoom M3 or something like that. All right, so this is the new ZV-10 Mark II in complete intelligent auto mode. So the camera's doing everything. So this is how it's set up.
That's how Dave likes it. Just the camera does everything.
That's it. Forget manual, forget controlling anything, any creative choices whatsoever. This is the camera. This is what you expect straight out of the box if you're brand new to the vlogging world.
Totally, and that brings up that we have a headphone jack, a microphone jack, which is awesome. So you can actually record and monitor your audio while you're shooting. So a lot of the camera manufacturers on these more entry-level cameras don't seem to include a headphone jack. So kudos, Sony. One little physical feature that I'm kind of annoyed by is the zoom rocker around the shutter. And that's because you can easily hit it. And so if it is active and you bump it, sometimes your framing might get tighter than you planned it to be.
If you're not using a power zoom lens from Sony, you still have to watch that toggle switch, because if you have the clear image zoom activated, that is still gonna crop in digitally.
When it comes to performance in terms of autofocus, this camera has one of Sony's latest processors, the Bion's XR processor. And this opens up the door for being able to utilize a better autofocusing with phase detection. It has 759 phase detection autofocus points, and it's making use of real-time tracking for IF, and it also has some of the built-in profiles. So it doesn't have all of the latest ones, but this one does contain people, it has animals, and it has airplanes. It doesn't have the bugs and the vehicles though.
Now for me, it's kind of funny that they put in the airplane mode on this camera, because I don't look at
I think it's just part of the features that it has.
Yeah, I get it. Throw it in there, why not? But for me, it's all about how accurate it can track someone's face in front of the frame. And what I'm finding with it is that it has no trouble at all. I mean, we've been spoiled with Sony's autofocus for quite some time. This is no exception to that, so I'm very confident when I'm holding the camera here. Even on a bright sunny day when I can't really see the screen as clear as I would like to because it's so bright outside, I have confidence that the camera's tracking my face.
As you can probably tell by now, this is definitely a video focused camera. So let's talk about some of the formats and tools that you have for capturing video. First of all, from the predecessor, this has a pretty big upgrade in terms of the quality. So this can shoot in 422 10-bit, and you have some great 4K options.
Now 4K is what everybody's talking about, but let's say you just need 1080. You can top out 120 frames per second, which is great for some slow motion.
Yeah, now for 4K, we do have 4K 60, and that's actually oversampled from 5.6K. So you're getting really crisp looking video. I do like how on this camera, if you're someone that's kind of more new to video, you have a lot of different options in terms of your creative looks. And so you can choose from a lot of built-in functionality that's in the camera. And if you're someone that's a little bit more advanced and you want to do your own color grading, then you have the ability of shooting with S-Log3. So this has a flat profile to begin with, but you can apply LUTs to it to give you your own tone, your own mood of how you want your video footage to look.
This is very cool. I mean, you can put it in complete intelligent auto, and there's a clip of us doing this, and it looks ridiculous, right? But the camera's making all the decisions for you, and it looks pretty good. But if you want to take it to that next level and the next level again, this camera has a lot of built-in pro features that allow you to do that. So in fact, there's space for 10 different LUTs that you can create to have your own custom profile for the look that you want for your videos.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with using it, it's basically just a layer that you can apply. So you get your own kind of color recipe, your own tone, different contrast levels, and this is really going to give you your own personalized flavor for how your video production is going to come out. So in addition to being a great content creator's camera, this is also a good stills camera.
It is.
You know, it's that 26 megapixel sensor, great autofocus. Overall, this camera is looking like a really solid option. And one thing we didn't talk about yet is that it has the direct streaming ability through USB-C or through the network.
I mean, the fact that you can plug this into your computer and replace your computer's webcam with something with much better quality is a very handy feature to have.
Yeah, and it's great to see that a lot of the camera manufacturers are making it so that pretty much any camera, any new camera, can work really seamlessly, whether you're doing like meetings or you are doing some live streaming. You want to be able to share what's happening in your life or in your world right away. It's great to have all these live streaming options. Now, for this camera, in terms of it being like an overall package, I think this is a great beginner entry level to Sony mirrorless. This gets you into the E-mount and has a lot of features that, you know, the previous model didn't all tick.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, you can go from full intelligent auto here, and the camera's going to do a pretty good job with you. But as you start growing as a content creator or as a videographer, and you want to start exploring S-Log and all these different kind of formats where you can have more creative control over your final product, it's all built into here.
And I think that Sony did a good job kind of balancing, you know, what you can get in this camera, being an entry point, still lots of those high-end features, and there's not that many limitations. Really, the only one we saw was the IBIS and like a couple little nitpicky things. You know, it doesn't have an EVF, which I know photographers or like more hybrid shooters might miss. But of course, we want to know, what do you guys think about this camera? Does it check all your boxes? Is it something that you'd be interested in? Let us know all your thoughts in our comments below.
And what do you think of the little toupee they put on here? Follow us on Instagram.
And if you're new to our channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's been Dave and Evelyn from The Camera Store. We'll catch you again very soon.
Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching this most recent episode on the Sony ZV-E10 II. If you want to check out more of our recent content, click up here. And if you're a Canadian and want to shop local, check out thecamerastore.com down here.